Ever since Mushoku Tensei episode 21 came out yesterday, I've had a weird feeling I've seen this character before. All we got in terms of information for this character in episode 21 was a name. The name was Nanahoshi. I don't believe this name has ever been mentioned before in Mushoku Tensei, but what stood out to me is the mask. For an offer to have a character don a mask, the character must have a major significance to the story. When you think about episode 21 in its entirety, it's mainly about Orsted bodying everybody there. Many, including myself, focused on the dangerous situation and how Rudy died a second time. With Orsted taking the spotlight, the character with the mask silently sat back in the shadows, and many of us seemed to glance over her. The only significance she had in the episode is telling Orsted to potentially heal Rudy. Obviously, this isn't 100% confirmed, but we can assume since Rudy got healed after his impalement, she is the one that talked him into it, which is another thing to factor in. From what we found out in the same episode, apparently everyone should hate and fear Orsted. However, Nanahoshi shows no sign of that, which means a few things. She's a cursed child, similar to how, Orsted is, or she's like Rudy. The reason I just said that is because of the mask. For an offer to have a character don a mask, it's something worth hiding. Something that will give away major plot details if the character's face is shown. Either be some form of scar, birthmark, or even eyes. There's always a reason usually for a character to have a mask on when an author writes it into the story. It's entirely possible the character is someone we met already. Example, it could be Sylphie, but she dyed her hair black. However, I don't believe that to be true, obviously. Nanahoshi doesn't have long elf ears, but the point still stands. Now, from this point forward in the video, this might contain spoilers. I'm an anime only, obviously, but I'm confident that I might know who Nanahoshi is at this point from the stuff I was actually managed to dig up when I was kind of looking into previous episodes. So if you don't want to potentially have this spoiled for you, I recommend stopping the video here. So I went back to rewatch the beginning of Mushoku Tensei, episode 1 and then episode 2, and upon my rewatch, I realized something from the dialogue. Apparently, 2 students were missing after Rudy got hit by a truck. This is literally at the beginning of episode 1, you see a black screen and it says 2 students are missing. Now, as we know, Rudy wasn't being considered for this because Rudy was someone they confirmed. He was in his 30s and, he was dying. But then they also said that 2 students were missing. So technically 3 people got hit. However, on episode 2, we see what led up to Rudy getting hit. He was casted out of his house and walking on the streets in the rain. Seeing a girl getting potentially harassed, he noticed a truck about to swerve into them, so he rushed into the road and gets hit trying to save them. At first glance, it seems like a typical start to, an isekai. However, I will repeat myself. 2 students apparently got hit, and this is not including Rudy, by the way, and they disappeared. Now, this is something very big. That's a huge detail, just disappearing. There was no blood, there was no record of looking like there was any wounds on the ground, they disappeared. It really does sound like the characters might have entered into a different world or something. Now, looking at the individuals that apparently got hit, the girl in the middle instantly stands out. Look at her hair design, and look at Nanahoshi. It's very similar. So obviously hair can be copy and paste in an anime, so we can't instantly say it's the same character because the hair kind of looks a little bit similar. So it might not be, Nanahoshi. However, I decided to listen to the audio of the character, the brief little audio clip we got of her in episode 2, to see if it sounds similar to Nanahoshi in episode 21. I'll let you listen to the sound bits of the student's voice and then Nanahoshi's back to back, for you can kind of see, if they do sound similar. They sound oddly similar, don't they? On top of that, if you notice, the sound effects mask the audio pretty well too, to make it not as obvious if we ever heard the voice again, because it's very distorted. It's very hard to really tell, but they do sound similar. Also, apparently, Nanahoshi's voice actor wasn't even in the credits for episode 21. So this leads me to wondering, if we knew the voice actor that actually voiced Nanahoshi, it would instantly be given away on who Nanahoshi is, and we would know who they are. Now let's take a shot in the dark, okay? And let's assume I'm right on this. Does this mean that Rudy isn't the only one to get reincarnated? If that indeed is the case, what happened to the other missing student? Is the missing student Orsted? I mean, we gotta think about this. I mean, if Nanahoshi is theoretically that girl that we saw, is Orsted also someone that's potentially transported to another world as well? It could explain some of the differences he has, etc., and why they're traveling in a pair, since we know two students disappeared together. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. It's something I noticed when I went back to rewatch. I don't know how correct I am on this, but I am pretty confident. I am extremely confident, because it's like, it feels like the way it was described and how they were trying to mask the audio and the voice actor's name, it seems deliberate, and I might be correct here. But once again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it's an interesting thought to think about if that is indeed the case. And if that is true, I do wonder how many other people are potentially reincarnated in this world. But I'm going to leave it at that for now. If you enjoyed the video, then, please leave me a like. If you want more of my content to appear in your YouTube feed, then please subscribe. I love you all, and be safe. Chibi out.